This isn't just another story. This is your story. Your triumphs, your conquest, your accomplishments, the things you've overcome. These are the things that make you you. But most importantly, these are the stories of what lies ahead. It's time to get re-inspired.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today. I'm so stoked to have our guest Chad LeRoy here with us today. Chad, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, we're stoked to have you. So we're just gonna sit down and have a conversation, man. It's gonna be that easy.
Awesome.
I wanted to start with, if you were to look at yourself at the 25,000 foot view as a human,
Okay.
how would you describe Chad?
Oh man, that is such a loaded question. I always joke to my wife that there's two Chads out there. There's New York Chad, where I was from, and then there's Colorado Chad. I am a ever-growing disaster.
Okay.
Yeah, had a really unique upbringing and just kind of learning as I go and trying to figure it out and have a lot of fun along the way. That's kind of the mantra of Chad is just keep having fun and keep grinding.
Okay, I love that. So you alluded to the New York Chad versus Colorado Chad. Tell me about where you grew up. Where'd you grow up?
I'm from upstate New York, so just in Lake Ontario, Rochester, New York, just outside of Canada. But somehow that New York City attitude kind of comes up.
Okay.
Miserably cold, so you kind of hunker down, really makes that tough skin, tough veneer of people. And, we heated our house with chopping firewood, went into the woods, chopped down the trees, split the wood, and heated our house with that. I remember doing that at 6, 7 years old, helping dad heat the home. That's all we could afford. And,
Yeah.
so New York Chad's a lot tougher,
Okay.
a lot more immature.
Okay.
And he's the bad devil on the shoulder.
Okay. Shoot.
Yeah.
How long were you in New York for? Did you
From 0 to 18.
0?
Yeah.
Okay. In the same area, the Rochester.
Rochester the whole time. Yep. Never
Okay.
moved.
All right. What was growing up other than chopping firewood?
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. Family life was unique. We all have our stories in our childhood. It certainly wasn't the white picket fence that you see on TV. That's
Yeah.
my wife. My wife had the white picket fence. She's one of the few. A lot of fun, sports, friends, just get into the good trouble, staying out a little too late at night, never any of the bad trouble.
Right.
We lived on Lake Ontario, so summers were spent either in the lake or kind of getting lost in the forest and the woods, and
Okay.
tons and tons of sports. Anything you can do to stay active and have fun.
Okay. Were you an only child?
I have a little brother, but we're 5 years apart, so
Okay.
it's like that weird age where you can never get too close.
Okay.
Because,
Gotcha.
you always want to be the cool older brother and not hang out with the little guy.
Yeah. And you said sports a couple times. What sports did you guys grow up playing?
I was huge baseball, huge into football. Football got cut a little short from concussions. My dad said, you're not to be an NFL player, so let's stop this nonsense. So we really focused on baseball. Wrestled for a couple of years just to kind of get that toughness. I was terrible.
Okay.
I don't think I ever won, but it's fun. Basketball in the streets, street hockey, you name it. We tried it all.
Okay.
A little bit of golf.
Okay. Do you still golf today?
Poorly.
Okay. Me too.
You were in the military. I played military golf.
Oh, okay.
Left, right, left.
Yeah, exactly. So age 18, what happens, I'm guessing, after high school? What would you do after
Yeah, I
that?
decided I thought I was good enough to play baseball collegiately, so I went to the University of Tampa.
Okay.
In the last 30 years, they've won 15 national championships, D2. So safe to say I didn't make the team, but
Yeah.
University of Tampa had some family down there. Went to school for sports management because huge sports guy. Thought I wanted to work in the sports industry. And yeah, I spent 5 years down in Florida.
Okay. And were you just going, not just, but you were going to school down there? Were you doing any work? Did you pick up any jobs? Florida.
The sports industry is crazy. It's all internships, all everything. I've worked in minor league baseball, the NHL, NBA, golf tournaments, worked in the NFL for 2 years. A couple of those were internships, but had a full-time job after college.
Okay.
That was really neat. Worked for the Buccaneers.
Oh, wow.
And wasn't for me. Also, that was 08. So even NFL teams were kind of laying people off.
Yeah.
And, I started one training camp on June 24th. I averaged 62 hours a week and I had 3 days off from the end of the season at the new year.
Wha-
Yeah, it was a lot.
So was the dream early on was to be involved in sports?
Yeah, the dream was to get a Super Bowl ring or
Okay.
a championship ring.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you did that with the Buccaneers for 2 years,
Yes, sir.
and then some of those other teams before that.
Yeah, a
after
lot of
that?
internships. I worked
Okay.
for the Lightning right after the strike. That was during college. I worked for a AAA baseball team back in Rochester.
Okay.
Did a lot of golf events. I think I did F1 or it was like F2 when it was down in Tampa.
Yeah.
Just add in the resume. That's all the sports industry is as much experience as you can gather.
And what kind of things were you doing, like with the Buccaneers?
My main focus was public relations.
Okay.
So I did that with my college as well. I'm the person who, if you see the guy in the suit at the end of the game
Yeah.
and they're bringing the person to CBS or Fox,
Yeah.
that was my job. I was never in charge of the quarterback or that coach,
Okay.
obviously,
Yeah.
but all those minor people, in the locker room, writing press blurbs. If you hear the crazy stat that at home they've converted the most catches on third down for first downs,
Yeah.
that's the PR department.
Oh,
Finding that crazy thing.
okay.
So a lot of that during the week.
All right. What did you love about that?
Just the experiences. I was lucky enough. John Lynch,
Yeah.
a former Bronco too, decided to retire mid-year. And, we're halfway through the season. So a lot of the big wigs have their schedule, their Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
I got put on that task. It was my job to call all the teammates and coaches and get a quick quote for his press briefing.
Oh, wow.
So really cool stuff like that. I befriended a couple of the players and I made a huge push to get one of the rookies into the Pro Bowl.
Oh.
As the kick returner.
Okay.
Just kind of walking around the media room like, hey guys, this guy's getting a start. He's doing really well.
Yeah.
He was going to take me to Hawaii, but then we saw the cost.
Okay.
His family came first, obviously. I sat that one out, but I made some really awesome friends and just awesome memories. I got to see a couple of them last year when they came to a Bucs game and they kind of remembered me, but I just got to thank them I was 22. I was so immature, Scott, and I was way above my skis as far as responsibility. And I just got to thank some of the people for helping mold me and guide me and the lessons you learn, hard work, again, 65 hours a week, 3 days off.
Yeah. Let's talk about what are some of the lessons that you maybe learned?
The first one is answer the bell.
Okay.
That alarm goes off in the morning. You come to work and you need to be positive, especially you're dealing with media. If the team just lost, you got to tell the coach like, hey, we got to be professional. Let's make sure we're there. And your outside work can't reflect what's going on in that door.
Okay.
Especially in sports.
Yeah.
There's millions of people watching. Fans are so fanatic. That's where the word comes from as it is. They get mad when players post their regular lives on socials.
Right.
Why aren't you out practicing or catching balls? You had 2 drops last game.
Yeah.
So helping maintain that constant, because it's a grind,
Yeah.
everything. Sports, they get paid really well, but it's a grind. And watching what they put their bodies through and the commitment and the eating and, everything's so regimented. That really taught me lessons at 22 as well. It's every day. They're in the weight room. They're eating clean so they can be ready on Sundays.
Is there a moment through that experience where maybe you really felt tested as a 22-year-old?
Oh man, constantly.
One of those things look like.
I think it was a bad moment then, but I realized what a good moment it is now. Is when you're 22, you're low on the totem pole. You feel like everyone's out to get you.
Yeah.
And I remember one day, and this was kind of bad, I had to do someone's project. And as I'm trying to figure it out, adding to my list, I walk by and I see him playing Tetris.
Okay.
And how dare you give me your work so you can take a chill pill?
Yeah.
And you don't realize that he's probably put in 70 hours this week, or he just needs that mental break. So remembering that you're a team as well, and you got to get work done, help someone out. You have no idea what's going on in their life, rather than playing the victim all the time and
Right.
feeling they're out to get you and they just want you to do the crummy work. I was lucky enough. It was never go get coffee. It was, I need this written. Can you handle this for me?
Okay.
So having that attitude and not being mad or snapping or taking it personally, that was really tough for me because, again, I was 22, way ahead of my skis for responsibility with my upbringing and still had a lot of New York Chad in me.
Yeah.
So that was just a really cool lesson that I think about to this day all the time.
What was your degree in?
Sport management.
Sports. Okay. Was there any part of that, that degree program that prepped you for press releases and working with media, or were you out of the frying pan into the fires?
A little bit, I hate to besmirk or talk badly upon school and testing. I'm not a school guy. I'm a
Okay.
hands-on guy. So
Okay.
that's why I had all the internships. I was lucky enough that my professors were pretty lenient on me because they knew how much I was working and the experience I was building.
Okay.
So our classes were never that tough. It was constantly pushed to get into the field and go working.
Okay.
I was lucky enough, like senior year, they were letting me talk to freshman classes and just putting my resume on the whiteboard, or shoot, we were doing overhead projectors back then,
Yeah, right.
Scott. This is Chad. This is the type of resume you need to have when you graduate from this university.
Okay.
So that was kind of the guidance of what you learn and how you get through life and how you keep moving up.
Yeah. So what did things look like after you got out of the sports thing? What was next?
Yeah, '08 happened, and the Bucks told me they weren't bringing me back. I had an offer from the Florida Marlins, now Miami Marlins, $22,000 a year to work in Hispanic marketing,
Okay.
and no habla español. So made the decision that this dream's probably kaput for a little while. So moved out to Colorado, had a good buddy out here and signed a lease online I'd never visited and drove.
Okay.
I got a job with AT&T
Okay.
and selling cell phones and just drove.
What part of Colorado did you live?
Denver. I moved
Okay.
straight
Denver
to
area.
South Denver, South Broadway.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at this point in time, are you single, married?
Had a girlfriend,
Okay.
Nicole X.
Okay.
She came out with me for a couple of years, but just was ready for a start. I knew I was never staying in New York,
Okay.
and AT&T was nice enough to hire me, and
Yeah.
off we went.
Did you find that the hustle and grind that you learned with NFL and these internships, did that translate to AT&T well for you?
Oh,
Or would it-
100%.
Okay.
I was the type of guy, why are you making me do an hour break? I can't sell when I'm on the floor. I'd punch out 15 minutes, eat my food, and get back on the floor.
Okay.
I was there
Or
early.
take a boiler room.
A little
Right?
bit. That's kind of
Yeah.
my mentality. It's, oh, you need me to come in early? Sweet. I'll come in early. I'll stay late. I was a volume-based commission salesman.
Right.
That's how I made money.
Yeah.
And so let's go do it. Why sit at home? Just go sell. You don't need a full hour break. We didn't get hour breaks with the Buccaneers. That was crazy.
Yeah. Right.
There's too much work to do. So that really helped. Show up every day, work as much as possible, have your fun when you're not at work, but just be there with that positive attitude. Because
Sure.
again, if you come in with a bad attitude as a salesperson and that's dirty sales,
Right.
you're not to make any sales. You're
Yeah.
not to make any money.
So how long were you with AT&T?
2 or 3 years, something like that.
Okay. And then where did real estate find you?
Lucky enough, I had a senior lady come in, rip roaring mad about her phone. Someone conned her into buying a Windows phone. Did you know Microsoft made phones for a little while?
Do you remember?
They were terrible. The
Okay.
user interface was awful. And I handled the situation so well that at the end, she said, have you ever thought about selling real estate? And matter of fact, I have a good buddy in New York who does it. He's really successful. He wanted me to move back to kind of join his team. And I said, I really want to, but I need the right moment. Now X was getting into DU grad school,
Okay.
so I couldn't turn down the money.
Right.
And she looked at me and said, I'll make sure you're successful. I signed up for school that week.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what happened after that?
Passed my test, put in my 2 weeks, and I became her buyer's agent. And she, again, I said she was a little senior. I have no idea. I would feel like in her 50s. She ran a really good team. She was really successful, and she cracked the whip on me.
Okay.
It was almost like the old school Catholic schools. Like, Chad, tell me about this paragraph in the contract.
Right.
If you don't get it, she'd smack that ruler on my hand.
Okay.
It was, she gave me goals and gave me things to do and made sure I did them every week.
Good
learn-
high standards too.
Super high standards because
Yeah.
I was her buyer's agent. She was too busy to do buyers
Okay.
anymore. So I got all that responsibility as I'm representing her
Yeah.
and her clients and her business. So I better know what I'm doing. I better be darn good at it too.
Where was your confidence level switching careers and going into that? Were you,
Real estate, a little bit. That's a New York Chad. I'm very confident.
Yeah.
I like to think I've succeeded in most things I've done in life, but real estate's such a hard gig, and there's so many terms, and there's so much to learn that you have no idea you need to learn until you're in there.
right.
The first house we did was a fix and flip, and they weren't fully done with it. So we had to put in there that we need the retaining wall finished and this finished, and I had no idea. So luckily, when it came to writing the contract, she helped me and pointed the stuff out,
Okay.
but I couldn't advise them of what else needed to be done.
Yeah. What did your first year real estate actually look like?
Buyer's agent for Rebecca Brock. She now is in North Carolina. So thank you, Rebecca, for everything. It was a ton of learning. I think I did 5 or 6 deals on the
Okay.
buyer side for the team and for
Yeah.
her. And it was just a ton of learning to be able to speak properly.
Were there any hard lessons in that first year as you're learning all this and kind of switching careers? And
Oh, a ton. Another person on the team needed me to show houses for him. And
Okay.
again, I'm 25, so still full New York Chad. And this person on the team was much more reserved, much more chill than me. And I showed home to his clients, and they found me to be pushy. And I thought I was being super nice and educational, and they complained about me a lot.
oh, really?
And Rebecca almost fired me from the team for not representing the team and that gentleman well enough. And so you had to take that lesson as, you can't be the brash college kid all the time anymore.
Right.
Yeah, that was a great lesson of just dealing with humans.
Yeah. Was that a big hit to your ego?
It was really scary a little bit, yeah, because you want to be the guy everyone likes. That's always been kind of my mentality.
Right.
And absolutely, yeah, like I didn't do a good job. And not only that, they didn't even like me. They never want to speak to me again. And that is a hard lesson, actually, now that you bring that up.
When do you feel like things started clicking for you in real estate?
Oh. Whew, what a good question. Probably when I went out on my own.
Okay.
And I really had to, it's such different work when you're not being reliant on someone else's clients and
Right.
you have to go find your own. So if that's 20 hours a week of lead gen or 30 hours a week, whatever that is, putting in that time and being dependent on yourself and no other paycheck. It was really easy to clock in at AT&T. They did all the marketing, so you just sold iPhones. This was 2012 when selling an
Yeah.
iPhone's it's like selling water
Bro.
from the desert. It's the easiest thing in the
Yeah.
world. This is not. And it's 25, so it's 2013, 2014 now. Denver's starting to see this huge swell of, inflation, and prices are going up, and I'm still in my 20s. So finding buyers that A, know, like, and trust me, but B, can afford a home was really fun and really unique and really challenging.
What are some of the ways that you were able to overcome some of those challenges? How did you find a way to make it happen?
Yeah, a lot of it was experiences, just being able to talk about how you helped a family, how you helped a divorcee dad sell his family home and downsize, having a couple of those lessons and also making the mistakes. I remember I was taught, have meetings over coffee. It's
Yeah.
cheaper, it's less time consuming. Well, I thought I'd be a real funny guy and take this really nice, like, about to retire couple out to lunch. And I also bought fajitas. So
Yeah.
I have 3 plates in front of me trying to tell them why I should be their agent
Yeah.
while making fajitas and taking up the whole pile when they only got salads.
Okay.
Safe to say I didn't get that client. So learning the lessons, making the mistakes, but understanding what the mistake was so you don't
Sure.
recreate that.
Being self-aware and
So,
present. And,
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. That's fascinating. Um, what do you think separates agents that are making it versus the ones that kind of do the slow fade out? Where do you think that lies?
Confidence is a huge thing.
Okay.
Having the confidence and enjoying what they do and being confident in that.
Okay.
It's confidence in yourself. There are so many ways that people can be successful in real estate. That's why I love it. There's not 2 people in this office that lead gen or talk to their sphere the same way as others.
Right.
Learning what you're good at and being intentional and actually working that basis really, really helps, I think.
So it almost comes down to like clarity
Clarity,
with
it's a great word.
gift, skills, and abilities and what works for you.
Right. I'm a people person. I love interacting. So I would go to birthday parties or
Yeah.
any clients. I started throwing housewarming parties for them.
Okay.
Invite all your friends. I'll bring the food.
Yeah.
Invite me and let's just have fun on a Saturday.
Okay. A couple times earlier on in our talk here, you were talking about kind of the power of showing up with a positive attitude. Tell me more about that and where do you draw from to keep a positive attitude?
Whew. You know, I joke with my wife. I'm a robot. I'm
Yeah.
kind of here 7, 8 out of 10 all day, every day.
Yeah.
That's how I enjoy being.
Okay.
I think I draw that from knowing when you weren't happier and how do you make sure you don't go back to that place? And obviously we all have our bad days and our bad times and our bad weeks or months or whatever it is. But we try to limit that. And when it's time to work, just knowing if I'm talking like this to my clients, no one's going to listen to me. That's not going to be engaging. They're not going to believe I'm there to help them.
Yeah.
And that's a huge difference with me is I'm not here to sell houses. I'm here to help families, help people with their situation. And that comes off as genuine because it is. And when I'm always here showing up and I'm always happy and having those hard conversations from a place of love and positivity, that's what really drives me.
You actually have a mission of there are people out there that I can help. And I'm dying to
100%. On the Trinity team, we really, really preach that, talk about that, live that. It is, anyone can sell a house. Why is your client buying that house or need to sell that house?
Right.
That's the difference. And that's how people trust you, why people refer you. If you're actually looking out for their situation, I talk about it all the time. You know, my clients always want a little bit better of a house. Well, once you get that first one, you pay it off a little, you pay down the mortgage, you get that little bit of inflation. Well, now you went from $10,000 down to maybe $50,000 down. Now you can get that next house.
Right.
And you move up or you move down. Maybe we want smaller, but nicer.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to do it once you get in there and learn the industry. So having that conversation, always being available for my clients to call me, talk to me. It's a really neat thing. And it's a great industry that we're in for that reason.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the word authentic or authenticity, right? And I think authentically knowing the market or the profession and how to help people in different ways. But it sounds like that magic kind of comes from authentically connecting with the client and knowing what they're wanting out of their lives or for their family or for their investment portfolio or whatever that looks like.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a little bit, we want to have a 30-minute conversation over the phone to qualify them. A, we want to get to know them, and B, we want to make sure we're a right fit.
Yeah.
We're not just going to help anyone. We want to make sure that our interests and their interests work together.
Okay.
So we get to know them. We ask them all the questions. Who's living in the home? What do you want about the home? Why is this happening? And why do you need to change your situation so that we can best help you? then we start. It's not, oh, you want to buy a house? Cool, let's go look and we'll figure it out later.
Right.
That's a hard way to do business.
Yeah. Well, and it's you're kind of shooting from the hip at a certain point in time unless you slow down to speed up. And
Right.
you know what your end goal is, so I can help you achieve that.
100%.
I love
Because
that.
then we're on the same page. And, kind of going back to authenticity, I'm not the bubbly 25-year-old female agent on Facebook. Like, oh, I love what I do and I love making everyone's dreams come true. That wouldn't be authentic to who I am.
Right.
I know I come at it a little bit more investment-y
Mhm.
and on the business side of what you need. And that's how I talk to my clients. Obviously, I know you want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath for your family, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But I also talk to them on, I want you to buy a good house,
Yeah.
a house that's not a lemon or it's in a good neighborhood, and check out the appreciation rate, stuff like that. So I make sure when I'm talking to them, I'm still talking to them as me
Sure.
and giving them that guidance as well.
Yeah. So we've talked about New York Chad and Colorado Chad. How is those identities grown or changed being you've seen the amount of success you've seen in real estate? How are those things shaped?
Yeah, the easiest how is my wife Jennifer. We're 10 years in October. She's been the best. Thank you. She's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. She's my rock. She's my steady Eddie. She's the smartest, most mature person in the world, and she's trying to get me to catch up. I'm fighting it.
Yeah.
She tells me if I'm acting like a jerk, if I'm acting great. She's always that person that's going to give it to me bluntly. And together, we're just trying to build this awesome life together and achieve our dreams. And, if you're tired that day or you don't want to show houses on a Saturday because I worked 45 hours already this week, it's remembering our goals, remembering what we want together, remembering that awesome vacation, the Cancun that we went on, so we can do another one of those.
Yeah.
She's my driving force. My nieces and nephews are pretty awesome as well. So
Okay.
just being able to spoil them. We took my niece to Disney World this year. That's kind of the how I've matured and grown. And you just kind of see life in a little bit differently than you used to.
Well, and one of the things I love about what you're saying is those are experiences. They're not just things, right? So to be able to have those shared experiences or curate them or provide them for people is got to be what justifies all the hard work.
Absolutely.
The mechanical hard work, it sounds like. What habits or disciplines have made the biggest difference day to day in growing your business and Trinity team and the other successes?
So there's a really cool study I did when I first got into real estate. Rebecca, my first mentor I was telling you about, made me track my sales.
Okay.
And it was the greatest roller coaster of all time. Q1, sales went high. Q2, sales went low. Q3, back to great. Q4, back to terrible.
Okay.
And once you have a deep, hard look and you realized, oh, well, 26-year-old Chad was making money.
Yeah.
And he went and enjoyed that money and stopped putting in the work. And then it was, oh, shoot, I can't pay the rent in a couple months.
Right.
Got to get back to work. So that's a hard way to live. It's stressful not knowing the next thing. So that was a really good lesson of being consistent.
Okay.
Time blocking, making the calls when you say you're going to, going to appointments when you say you're going to, just having a consistent time block schedule of doing the work. And again, being an adult of really taught me that was that main lesson of how we do what we do. And it's tracking all of these things so you can hold yourself accountable. We track our calls. We track what leads come from what system, so we know if it's a good use of money or not.
Yeah.
It's just, I think Jason Abrams said it on the podcast, the Keller Williams guy. The biggest mistake agents have is they don't treat their business like a business. It's a hobby. And that was a huge light bulb that clicked, luckily for me, many years ago, but I'm still reminded about that.
Yeah.
You go to any big company or even a small company, Go to the burger joint down the street. They know exactly what that patty costs them and how much they're making on the patty. They know who they're paying and how much lettuce costs them, and all that's put in there so that they can be profitable. If you're not doing the same thing as a realtor, you're probably doing it incorrectly.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of places, are trying to teach people how to sell real estate, right? Which is a necessary skill set. But very few places are teaching people how to build a sustainable business.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of where the magic happens, I think,
Mhm.
right? Especially when most people are self-employed. You know what I mean? You got to keep that flywheel going. You talked about time blocking and a schedule and consistency and stuff. Do you ever find yourself hitting a wall mentally or emotionally? And if you do, how do you get your butt out of bed to get through the grind of the day?
Yeah. So two things. One, for a few years there, I was kind of making it and I was happy with my income
Okay.
and I wasn't working that hard. I had a good little fix and flip business and some sphere of influence. I was really happy with the money I made. But I was almost a little depressed and lonely because I was not working that much. And then I developed bad habits from that. And I actually got really lonely and I was really not happy with myself. So remembering I don't want to go back there is a great push. And this year, my New Year's resolution was simply more meetings, more calls, more whatever. Just because it's 4 o'clock doesn't mean it's time to go home. Or, well, I made a goal of 20 calls, but I still have an hour left in the day. I'll just quit. No, make more calls. So now, Eric was the head of the Trinity team. I just text him a more gift every time I'm doing something or I get something unexpected. I text him that gift and, he always sends me one back.
Yeah.
So it's hey, look what I just did, give myself a pat on the back. And then you also get an attaboy from, I look up to Eric so much, an attaboy from your mentor, your boss, whatever you want to call Eric, is a really cool feeling. So
Yeah.
to not go back to there, to keep going up and having that, you're probably better with words than me, reaffirmation, whatever it is, that
Right.
attaboy is really cool. I don't care how old you get. When someone says good job, it means something.
For sure. Yeah. So, I want to just put a point on feeling like in this business, I think it's really easy for someone to feel like they are completely alone. They're on their own. They're doing it themselves. The highs are high, but the lows are low,
Very low.
right? And so anything we can share with people to say, hey, this is a way I found out of that, or this is a thing I did, or something I committed to. I think it's really cool that you're sharing the stuff that worked for you, because I think it's a reality that we don't talk about,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everything is, rainbows and butterflies and stuff, and that headshot. And
Everyone sees the commission checks. I kind
Yeah.
of liken it to gamblers. Everyone tells you about all the bets they won. You never hear about the bets they lost.
Yeah.
And, to what you said, you're feeling low. You're not alone. Every real estate agent's felt that at some point, no matter if they sell 2 homes or 40 homes a year. It can be lonely. You have support. Here at Keller Williams, our office is amazing. Between Scott, Cato, Grace, Leslie, Tom, you name it. Talk to someone, call someone. We've all been in that point. If you're at a different office, call your managing broker, call your friend that's an agent, and just chat it up with them because they've been there and they have advice, or go grab a drink and just laugh at the jerk client that made you almost want to quit. Because unfortunately, there are jerks out there.
So let me ask you this question: Why Keller Williams?
Man, I was resistant of Keller Williams for a really long time. I was kind of that agent that, I don't need to give my splits. I know everything. I can do it on my own. And again, I was doing okay. I was never a top agent. I was doing 10, 12, 15 deals, making decent money. But then that loneliness hit and that okay, well, actually, I don't know what's going on in the market. And everything changes so fast in this industry. I felt really left out. And I wasn't able to have these conversations with my clients. So I wanted to go somewhere that kind of felt like family, that would take me in. I can constantly be learning, and someone I can share this experience with, because it is hard. And I'm in the office 4 or 5 days a week now. I have new friends that I never would have if I didn't join Keller Williams. I've been in the business 15 years. I still go into Tom's teaching at least twice a month, just listening to the Monday morning teaching or our monthly sales meeting. You always pick up on something that's different that you didn't know. Our employee broker sent out an awesome thing about insurance when we had a windstorm. It's like, wow, what a great thing to educate your clients on.
Right.
If I'm sitting at home and I'm all alone because I'm part of a boutique broker or I'm not engaged, I never would have heard that. And just taking that little talking point, it's so amazing to gather. And it just helps you become a better person, a better agent, and a better servant for your clients, the better serve them.
I love that word servant. I'm a big proponent of servant leadership and stuff like that. And I wanted to kind of move our conversation a little bit because you are on our Associate Leadership Council, the
Yes.
ALC, which puts you in a leadership position. What does it mean to you to be identified as a leader amongst your peers and to be on the ALC?
It's extremely rewarding, and it feels awesome that someone's trusted me enough to be a leader. Going from that bottom of the totem pole at 22 of the bucks to being someone's buyer's agent to then working alone. I've never been thrust in that leadership. I've always kind of wanted to be a leader. I've coached softball teams, stuff like that. So I knew I had those qualities, but to have someone trusted you and want you a part of the conversation is really awesome. I'm a part of the leadership of Trinity team as well. So it's sometimes drinking out of a fire hose, but I have such a passion for real estate. All my friends realize, like, I'm kind of here, but then when I get talking about real estate, I'm right here.
Yeah.
So being able to better the industry, better the office, and help better agents and humans, no matter if it's the littlest bit, it's such a rewarding thing at night that I've never slept better, because I know after my day's done, I've done good some way, somehow.
Yeah, you showed up. Yeah, you showed up. I love that. What would you say? What's different about Keller for Realty? What makes this place different or special to you?
This place actually cares. I say it on the Trinity team a lot. Why you joined the Trinity team and why you joined Keller Williams North is in an industry where people really don't usually care about you. This place cares about you. Trinity cares about you. I know you care about me, Scott. I know Cato cares. Even the people in the ALC, we're here helping each other. It's not our business. A couple of people were talking about working on AI together and training each other on AI. The agent that was training another agent, I think he does 50 deals a year, something like that.
Yeah.
He's as busy as anyone in this office and in the industry, and he's setting aside time to help a coworker. If you go to other offices, and they don't do that. One of the reasons I quit my first brokerage and the team to go on my own 14 years ago now is I was given awards for being a top team in the company, met the owners several times, and 2 years in, he stepped into one of our meetings and introduced himself to me. He had shaken my hand on stage and given me an award, and that's how little I meant to them. That stinks, and that's like well, what am I here for? What am I paying you guys for? That doesn't happen at Keller Williams. People walked in like 2 minutes late, and you said, "Hey, how's it going?" You call them out by name. There's 50 people in this office? I'm pretty confident in your ability to call everyone out when they walk through that door and you know their name. You probably know something about them too. That's really unique, and that's really special.
It's awesome to hear. If you were to talk to an agent that's maybe stuck doing 2 to 3 deals a year, or even 5 to 10 deals a year, what would you just straight up tell them? What do they need to do? How do they turn this into a business from a hobby?
That's an awesome question, because that's literally my role on the Trinity team, is kind of coaching agents and growing the agents that are on our team. The first step is, what makes you passionate about this industry and what are you great at? We've kind of talked about it, is how do you turn your hobbies into a way to generate business so it doesn't feel like it's a grind? Nothing makes me more mad than when someone just says, oh yeah, you're a new agent, go call FSBOs, go call expireds.
Yeah.
That's tedious. That's tough. No, find something you love and figure out a way that you can lead gen. I brought up Jason Abrams. I was lucky enough to attend that class that you signed us up for. He mentioned that there was a lady, and she said, bravest lady he's ever met. She put on her Facebook neighborhoods page, I am overweight. I need to get in better shape. I will be walking from this time to this time in the neighborhood. I would love for someone to come join me. She wasn't doing it salesy. She wasn't probably even doing it as an agent, but she started making friends. It started at 1 or 2. Now on Saturday, she has 20 neighbors joining her, just walking with her. I think he said she's lost like 50 or 60 pounds. Wow. And she owns 70% market share in that neighborhood. It's a different way of doing business, but she found something she loved. She wanted to exercise. She was friendly. She was happy about it. She wasn't resentful, made friends for life, and turned it into a really awesome part of business. I like to hang out and be social. I go to birthday parties and barbecues, sit in the backyard, play cornhole, and talk about real estate. And that's how I get a huge share of my business. I play softball on Saturdays, so I can still play sports. My whole team is going to use me eventually.
Right.
I'm making friends with 10, 12 guys every Saturday. We're together for 8, 9 hours. I'm having a blast, but they're going to be part of my business because I'm not treating it as a business. So find something you love doing and don't be salesy. Don't have commission breath.
Right.
Don't do that. Like, hey, do you want to buy a house? No, it kind of comes up casually and I find out, oh, I'm looking, or just last Saturday, my sister's getting ready to buy a house. I actually told her I play ball with a really good realtor. She might be calling you. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for thinking about me. And I leave it at that. If they call, awesome. And if they don't, I'll follow up in like a month.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, and
it
that
lets you be authentic with them and not salesy.
Yeah, I just get to be me and I have fun, and that's what comes across.
So I think that's one of the magic, when people crack the nut and realize that they can make really good income by being themselves. I think that's when the blinders kind of come off and things click for people.
Absolutely. And it's going to click for your clients too. And they're going to trust what you say more. I brought her up a couple times. Rebecca, my very first showing, she said, Chad, no more AT&T shuffle. And I said, what does that mean? And she didn't tell me. She said, you'll figure it out. So obviously I'm showing her clients, and I would report back every day. And like the second month in, I called her and I told her, so everything went really well today. They wanted to buy this house. And I told them no. She goes, what do you mean you told them no? I was like, well, I thought it was overpriced. And I pointed out a few things that I didn't think the house would be a good fit for. And she said, there it is. That's that AT&T shuffle. When you stop worrying about your paycheck and you worry about your clients and their general interest, that's when you're going to make it in this industry. And that's always kind of clicked with me. And that was such a great lesson right away. Don't be salesy, be helpful.
If you could go back and talk to Chad on day one of real estate, what would you say to him?
Just try harder.
Try harder.
Listen, work. You don't know it all. Do all the things you kind of did but didn't fully do.
Okay.
You ever watch Breaking Bad?
Oh, yeah.
The episode where Mike tells Walt, no more half measures.
Yeah.
It's time for the full measure.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I would say. No half measures. Get rid of the video game system. Get rid of the distractions and just go to work.
And build a life you want to.
Build the life you like. I enjoy the finer things in life, Scott. That's why I work hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, I still fly economy. I'm really hoping I don't have to fly economy all the time.
Right.
Because that first
Oh.
class on those flights is really nice. I've been lucky enough to do it once or twice, but it's awesome when you don't have to be
Oh.
stuck in the back with the crying kids.
Off camera, I'll tell you about me and my wife's last flight back from Italy. It
Oh.
was amazing.
Yeah, it's
We didn't want to get off the plane when we landed. All right, we're going to go in a couple rapid fire questions real quick.
Okay.
Thank you again for your time and being with us. Coffee or energy drink?
Ooh, I kind of do both. I'm growing up a little bit, so I'm trying to get coffee, but I dislike it. I'd much rather a white Monster.
Okay, a white Monster. I love it. Number 2, your first commission check. What'd you do with it?
Just paid rent.
Okay. What is one non-negotiable daily habit that you have?
Wake up smiling.
Wake up, smile. What is your favorite way to decompress?
Sit down and watch a baseball game.
Sit down and watch a baseball game. Do you like watching games in the park? Do you go down to court?
I do a lot. Oddly, as much as the pitch clock is awesome, it made going the games not as enjoyable because it's so rapid fire now. Like
Yeah.
you can't really have the conversation with your buddy. I built a really nice man cave. I have 4 TVs.
Oh, nice.
So you'll often find me just watching sports in the man cave.
Are you one of the for with baseball in particular, you're one of the stats guys where you'll sit there and
I know how to keep a book.
Okay.
I can keep a book. I don't for normal games. I try paying more attention to the chess match that is batter versus pitcher.
Yeah.
Okay, he started with a fastball first pitch. Last at bat, what's he starting with here? Kind of taking the catcher's mentality of how are you going to attack the hitter? How are you going to win this at bat?
Okay. That's amazing. Last question. If there was one word that defined your business, what would that word be?
What a great ending. I have no idea. I've never had that question. Tenacious is in my head just because I don't give up. I grind. I'm always there for my clients. It's just a go, go, go attitude. I've flown the Singapore 18-hour flight, and the second we got on Wi-Fi in the airport, I was making calls
Okay.
because it was a full day without my phone and without my clients.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a tenacious, no stop attitude.
All right. We're going to end our interview with Tenacity. Thanks again for your time. I appreciate you being here. Everybody, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode. Take care.